And for those of you who have never joined us before or new faces, I'm Samantha Russell, our Chief Evangelist here at FMG. Sorry, I have a little cold, so I've got my cough drop in, but happy to be here with you all. And it is really my absolute joy. I love doing this to teach advisors the best client marketing and communication strategies. And I love hearing from all of you. So any tips that you have today, we want to hear them. Put them in the chat. We want it to be interactive. We can learn from each other. Susan and I learn from you all every single time we do this. So
Constantly. This is why, yeah, it's a win-win for everybody on this call because maybe hopefully you'll take a tip or two away from us, but we definitely learn from you as well.
yes, and Susan is my partner in not crime, but
Not crime. We
education,
need a
partner
better
of
just
education.
partner.
And you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at FMG, and doing these webinars with Sam is my favorite thing. And I'm so thrilled that you guys all took time out of your day to join us. We're really honored.
Heck yes. So there we are, first 90 days, turning new clients into raving fans. This is live, and we want to hear from all of you. So let's start by just going over what it is we're going to discuss. And then we'll dive right in. So first, we're going to talk about how to create, again, a system. We want this to be a checklist that you can execute, the people on your team can execute even when you're not there. How can you reduce the most common questions that get asked over and over again by repurposing great content like FAQs? And then how do you make sure that you are getting feedback so that you can improve that process? And then the fourth one is probably Susan and I's favorite, which is those personal touches that become those remarkable moments that get
I
people talking about you and turning them into raving fans.
Awesome.
Okay, so this source is this comes from Advisor Growth Strategies, but they find that firms with a structured onboarding process experience 50% greater new client retention. So this isn't just like a nice to have. It really, really does matter with retaining those clients you worked so hard to get in the first place. And as I did mention, we are really, really excited about this. Our team has taken all the best practices we see working for firms and put them into this new client onboarding checklist for the first 90 days. So you are all going to get this just by virtue of signing up for today's session. And it will be emailed to you, and it's going to go both as a checklist form so you can look at it, but then also into more detail for every step of the way. So
Oh,
keep
we
on
got
going.
some emojis.
Yay! Love to see that.
Celebration.
So, Susan, have you heard of any of these books before? Raving Fans um, by Ken Blanchard.
I have
Um,
heard of that one. And gosh, I'm trying to think if I've read others. Gosh, I want to say there was one that was actually called Raving Fans.
yeah, that's
That
Ken's book.
Oh, that's
Um,
yeah. I
it's
think
an older
when
one,
I
but
was the chief marketing officer at, I want to say it was at Cetera, and Valerie Brown, if anybody, I don't know, anybody know Valerie Brown or remember Valerie? She was our CEO. She made the entire C team, the exec team, read that, and we all had to come prepared to talk about how we were going to integrate that into our departments and the service that we delivered to our customers. So I kind of think actually that just I'm riffing a little bit, but that could be something that you have everybody on your team read or a book similar and ask everybody on your team to think about what's their role in creating raving fans. You know, it could be somebody that's just doing the back office paperwork, but there are ways that all of us in any company can contribute to creating raving fans.
I think sometimes the smallest things are the things that end up being the biggest. So for instance, I just stayed at a Hyatt property in New York City. And when we showed up, they in the room had a little welcome fruit platter. Like, welcome, thank you for being a Hyatt. I'm a discoverist at Hyatt because that's the hotel I usually stay at. And it's such a small thing, but fresh fruit after traveling and everything is so lovely. I read another advisor, what he always does is he finds out the favorite coffee drink order of every client. So whether it's Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, if it's something kind of fancy like a Frappuccino or, something, I shouldn't say fancy, but you know what I mean. And he makes sure that he has that order waiting for them when they come into the office to drink. So it's not just the coffee that they have there, they have someone go out and get the coffee. And it's such a small little thing, but to the person getting it, you notice it because it doesn't happen a lot, right?
And somebody
So
just asked, how do you go about getting that? But this is where a process comes into place. So I'm guessing most of you have somebody that greets people when they come to the office, and or you're on a call or a Zoom with them and possibly have an AI note taker or take your own notes. It just becomes part of the process. Here's like a little tip because I was also thinking about creating raving fans, I think is also important to do with your own team. So
Mm-hmm.
you want your team and everybody that works for your firm to be a raving fan of the firm because that's when they just naturally emote the kind of energy that you want to with customers. I always say you can't make somebody that answers the phone talking to customers smile. They have to love what they do. And that starts with making raving fans of your employees. And what we do at in our marketing team, which is an idea that also relates to answering the question about how to ask for stuff, and this will come up later in the presentation, but we send a survey just asking, what's your favorite, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? What's your favorite cookie flavor? What's your favorite coffee drink, Starbucks order? You know, if you had a gift card, where would you want it from? Just little stuff like that. And then for birthdays and just surprise and delights, we go to that list and then we send things out. But that's the kind of idea, both thinking about your employees from this lens, but also ways to ask. So I might have
I
digressed a
love
little.
that.
Sorry
And
there.
Alicia, to your point, Alicia just put in the chat that they do notes from their CRM. They creep on people on social media. They give them a survey before their first review after signing the paperwork and ask those questions about interest, beverage, and food. So we are all really aligned. And I think just again, going back to like, where are the brands or the moments, whether it was a stay at Disney World or a hotel or an interaction you had with any kind of business where you had one of those moments and why it meant something to you. And, that's also just a good idea to give you some inspiration. So,
Totally. And I mean, I know a lot of advisors will ask, which is absolutely valid, but how often do you want to be communicated with and like business questions? I promise you, everybody would much rather tell you what their favorite coffee order is or what their
yes,
favorite, cookie is than trying to think about how often do I want you to email me? I don't know when it's when you've got something good to say.
when you have something to say.
Yeah.
Oh, Robert just said, I give some of our clients mouse pads with different college football conference schedules on them.
That's awesome. That
Such
is
a
a
small
great,
gift, but
see,
clients
there's
ask
us
for it
learning.
every year.
That's an awesome idea.
I love that, Robert. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That is so, so genius. Yeah. So again, I don't think we need to go over all this with you. This to me is a no-brainer, but we know this, but yet we don't always do it, and we don't do it because we don't have a system. So today we're going to give you the system. Let's too long didn't read version of this slide.
Yeah.
Um, and so we really focus in on 90 days because if you study anything about first impressions, right? If you're watching a video, you might give it 3 seconds before you decide whether you're going to scroll away or not. Most people, when they're working with a new business, they're going to give you multiple chances and they're forming their first impression in those interactions. Those first 90 days are so crucial for them determining whether or not, as Susan, alluded to earlier, they are so excited and exuberant and they have that great energy, or if they're kind of like, "Ooh, I don't know if this was the right choice," and then you're trying to dispel their preconception rather than keep going on that positivity train. So the first 90 days are crucial. Okay, so we're going to also show you in the library, the content library, some of the different resources that we have. So let me just show you real quick. If you already are using FMG, if you go into the library, the content library, and then you just do that search for new client, look at all these great tools that we have right here for you. We are not just helping you with, your marketing and your prospect outreach. Obviously, a huge backbone of this is client communications. And so I don't know if there's any you want to talk about in here, Susan.
I mean, I think just honestly, just, not reading aloud all of them, but just looking at the different types. I mean, you've got emails, you've got greeting cards, you've got downloadables like a checklist. We've got a
Event kit.
sequence, which is like a new client onboarding campaign that drips throughout 12 months. I mean, there's just a lot. And, we want everybody to think of these as assets that you customize into what works for you, but this is a great list of assets that you can use to add for those that already have a process but are like, I'm looking to improve it, just add to it, or for those that are looking to create it, you could just create it from this.
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to go into more detail in just a minute on some of those. And even if you're not using FMG, you can.
And where is the content library? So I think for, many of you are not, I think, likely using FMG. So as you know, Sam and I are with FMG, and what we just showed is the content library of the FMG platform, which from our perspective really is the backbone of the whole system. It's the content that you can then distribute across every channel, from web to email to print to social to, print, to downloadables. And all of it has compliance workflows so that if you it's compliance approved in the library, but if you want to change it, it just routes through compliance. So that's part of the FMG platform's value proposition.
Yes, and we'll show more of that for those of you who want to see more of it here in just a minute.
And I believe everything we just showed you is part of Essential. I don't think that's premium content.
No, it didn't say any of it was through that other program, through the Do It For Me program. So awesome. Okay, so one thing I would love to know, maybe tell us in the chat, what CRM are you currently using? Because
Mm.
it's really interesting and fascinating to see. And we still see a lot
The
of,
first three, and we have three different answers, but I'm starting to see,
okay,
oh, we got a red tail to advise on. I've been interested. I've been seeing a lot of advise on. Not a
smart
lot, but I mean, it's definitely trending.
Trainual. I don't think I've ever even heard of that one.
No, Microsoft Dynamics. So it's
Okay.
Wealthbox, Redtail, Salesforce, Advise um, Microsoft Dynamics, and a Rise. I don't know Rise.
So Susan, do you want to explain a little bit about how our CRM integration works? Because the CRM really is the source of truth when it comes to making sure that you've got good information. We need good information in order to have this system in this process.
Yeah, so the way I was reading some comments, I get fascinated by, as I said, I love learning and hearing what advisors are saying. But the CRM, the way it works on the FMG platform, if you're not familiar, is like many of the technology vendors that you work with, we have a bi-directional sync and essentially an easy button. So you can see here, we've got the logos at the top. If you want to import a CSV, you can, but if you use Redtail or Wealthbox or any of the other ones, you're just pushing a button to import them. It's just going to ask for your password, and then it brings them in. It shows you how they're coming in so that you can make sure that the categories are lining up in the right way. And then once you do that, it will bring all of your contacts as well as your groups and tag groups. So if you've created a segment of A clients or a segment of, clients that love to travel, that will come over. And then every night we sync so that if you are adding or deleting or updating in your CRM, it comes into the FMG platform, because we do not want you to have to manage two different contact databases. So you essentially are just seeing your CRM in our platform. And if you are sending an email or doing an activity, it gets written back to the CRM.
So the next time you pull up Wealthbox, let's say you're using that and you're not even in FMG, you would see that that client had been contacted and gotten that email. So it's really that two-way sync, which is really important. And the reason we really want to talk about this is that we still find a lot of people not utilizing to their full potential the way that you can have groups. So again, when we think about a great client experience, not getting emails that don't apply to you and only getting emails that do is a big part of that. We don't want more junk mail that we got to go through. And not that it's junk, but if it's not applicable, that could lead somebody to stop paying attention to all your emails because they think, well, they're not all applying to me. So we really want to make sure that we've got them set up. So our biggest tip is really stop and think about, what at a minimum number of groups do you need? Obviously, you need a client list, a prospect list, and
Yeah,
a set
let's
of
start
groups.
there. I actually I'd love to ask, and I will just answer a couple questions because I'm just my sense of urgency is I'm like a quick start. We do not have an integration with HubSpot. And somebody else asked if they have a website, do they see all this content? And I think you have to have we have a website offering and a marketing offering. You have to have the marketing offering to see all these great goodies. Um, bring the source of truth. So, what was your question, Sam?
Oh, we were
Oh, yeah, yeah.
talking about the different groups. We were
Yeah,
saying we can
segments.
absolutely start. So maybe everyone could tell us, besides clients and prospects, do you have other groups? And are you using them in your marketing with your drip emails? Like maybe you have a list of everybody who's on Social Security or everybody who has kids in college or going to be in college. They're obviously they all live in St. Louis and another all has homes in Florida. We'd love to know what kind of groups you all have. If you give us a couple examples, I think that's so interesting for everyone to see.
And also, I'm curious specifically whether you're dripping on centers of influence and whether you're dripping on prospects. Because we find, like, intuitively, I would have thought a lot of advisors are, but we find quite often that they haven't created that segment.
Yeah,
We've got
such
prospects and COIs, doctors, AB. We've got some, I think we've got A plus
401k.
attendees today.
Yes,
We
I
got to
love
take it up a level.
it. Um, so, having again those different groups really makes it easy to send the right messages at the right time to the right people. And what Susan mentioned about the COIs, that is, we're really talking about client onboarding, but if you just think kind of zoom out and you think about your marketing, staying in front of those folks is so great because they have the ear of the people you want to be in front of. And a lot of us forget to reach out to them and that they're always looking for great solutions for their clients as well, and that you want to keep yourself top of mind as one of those solutions. Okay, so the pre-meeting content ideas that we have, and we can go into these a little bit more, but obviously before someone is going to meet with you, sending an email saying we're so excited to see you in the office or to have this virtual meeting on Monday. Just a reminder, here's the things we'd love for you to have at the meeting, and give them a little checklist. And then if they need access to a portal or anything like that. And then also this one, I love this FAQ email. Obviously, for so many of you, you know exactly the kinds of questions people are going to ask. Do I need a copy of this? Do I have to have a copy of that? Hey, only I can come. Should we reschedule? Or is it okay if I come without my husband? Those same kinds of questions. So building an FAQ of those frequently asked questions and maybe even addressing some things the person hadn't thought of yet is such a great way to do it. And we have a tip for you on how to add it to your website to improve your discoverability as well. And then the welcome newsletter, we have a custom email builder that you can use here at FMG. So you can just create a quick email that answers those top 5 things that people want to know. Okay, so I would love to know actually, is anyone here using My Rep Chat, which is our texting tool? Because that is also a great way to think about reminders for meetings and follow-up messages. Oh, we got all
Oh
yeses.
gosh, we're getting a ton of yeses.
I love that.
That's awesome. Well, I have to drip. It's getting much better. So stay tuned. We are close to rolling out a new improved mobile app experience. So
Well,
it
Teresa
will
just said
actually
I'm
look,
using My Rep Chat. Best decision I ever made. I love
oh
it.
my gosh, that's amazing. Well, it's going to look like how you normally send texts in the near future. We are all like just with bated breath. We can't wait to announce it, but stay
Actually, we
tuned.
have so many fun things planned for this platform and this
Yes.
tool. Like Susan and
Thank
I.
goodness. We got to thank goodness.
Yeah. And oh, someone just asked, can you get My Rep Chat separately from FMG? Is it only
Yes.
available in certain packages?
It's separate. It's so we've got texting is a separate package or product. Marketing is a separate product with different levels, and website is our third. You can have all in one, and there's, discounting if you do that, and you can buy each separately.
Yeah, we definitely keep them all separate because we know some people already have a solution. And at the moment, maybe you just need the texting feature and you don't want to move everything else over. So you can bundle or buy separately.
Yep. And my rep chat does use your number. Yes. It uses
Crucial.
your office number, which I think is even better because you do not have to give out your private cell number and everybody in your office can have access to it. Maybe it's a good time to put up the poll too. I feel like we might lose
Yeah.
people as we go, but Aubrey, if you're listening, maybe we will show our poll in case anybody would like to get more information.
That's such a good point. So we're going to talk, we got a lot more to share, but since some of you I know need to leave early, if you want to learn more about our texting tools, our client onboarding, how we can help you with emails, how we can help you with prospect outreach, we have a lot of different tools. And I think actually, Susan, this is one of the things sometimes we struggle with. We have so many different tools and we're trying to teach and educate people, not only on best practices, but which of those tools maybe they would want to use. So if you answer that poll, yes, we will actually, you'll get an automated email. This is new that you can schedule a time to meet with us right away. So look out for that. And we are excited to talk with you all. But so the appointment reminder email, regardless of whatever it is you're using, a lot of you do have an online scheduler like a Calendly. You can automate this process. And so that is one of our biggest tips is don't make this manual. However you want to automate it, whether it's through texting, if it's through Calendly, you want to have an email reminder be automated. And we have examples in our platform that you can just copy and paste to make it easy for you. So you don't have to write it yourself.
Love that.
Okay. And then once, they actually have that meeting or they've said, yes, we want to work with you, just having that welcome message and really making it personalized. This little image up here, this could be like a picture of your team joining. It could be a video from you just talking about why you're so passionate and helping clients like the type of client that's joined. There's lots of ways to personalize this, but we monitor these get opened, these get
And
read.
this is in our content library. And as I sort of look at this content, like we really try to write. Sam and I have a lot of experience working with advisors, and we really do try to get your voice. But obviously, this especially is a very personal email, this first introduction. But from what we hear, generally we got it like maybe 80, 90% right, and then you can tweak it. And that's kind of like the secret sauce to our whole content library. We don't mean for it to be just take it and use it as is. It's getting you like 90% of the way there, and then you can personalize it. But we do, I think, get an advisor's voice.
100%. And, I don't know about you, Susan. If someone asks me to write something, I might put it off. But if someone says, hey, I wrote this for you, can you just edit it and make it sound like
Uh,
you? I can do that in 5 minutes.
Totally. And boy, do I wish actually that's where chat has helped. I used to,
Yeah.
I used to always, now I have somebody to do that first draft. I also like, I'm not sure, I forget the next slide, but some things that came to mind that I think would be really important to do in the first meeting. Do you remember if we have slides on that? Because a couple things that I know we talk about it in some
Yeah.
of our
During
other
the first
webinars.
meeting, yeah.
Okay, we got that. Because one of the things that came to mind is asking how they heard about you, like
Mm.
making sure that that's part of your process in that first meeting, or maybe it's the first
Be that
call.
new client survey that they fill out too. But yeah, asking so you make sure
Yeah.
you get it.
But capturing that, I think like in a random conversation, it comes more naturally than if you're, survey based, it feels a little bit staid. Because that's great data to have in your CRM, and obviously to show over time like where they're coming from. Because what we're seeing is more and more they are coming from the LLM search platforms like chat. And we're also seeing that when people come to you from chat, they're 3 times more likely to convert. So I think finding that out is really interesting. And then a lot of them are finding you through search, whether it's, Google or whether it's through Gemini and ChatGPT, finding out what they were asking. Because those questions that they were asking, like what were they searching for? What did they use to search for? Will help you not only improve your SEO and AEO, but it will also, it's like what you should use to create your content strategy. So
Yeah.
the content you want to write on your website, and we can get into that later, but I just wanted to get those off my head.
I think that's such a good point. And Carla just said she just got her first client through chat last week. How many of you tell us in the chat, have you had a prospect that then became a client or just at least got the call through a AI search tool? Because we are seeing it become
We
more
did.
and more popular. Oh, Libby
Yeah,
did
we're seeing
it.
it more and more.
Scott, I like your growth mindset. He said, not yet, not no, not.
Yes, love that growth mindset.
I do
And
too.
I think it comes later. The gift thing, like after the appointment, that comes later, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I'll
One
sit
thing
on
that
my idea.
No, that's okay. One thing I just wanted to show everybody really quickly is within the platform here, like email, all of our sections, right? So you can come over here, you can just go straight and look at the content. You can go and edit your website, you can go to your blog. But let's say you wanted to send an email and you didn't want to use one of our out of the box templates and you did want to have AI help you. We have that baked into the platform right here, right with AI. And you can click on that and you could say, write me an email welcoming. Now, I actually think the one that we've written is amazing. So you could just copy and paste it in and ask for edits to it too, right, Susan, to make it sound more like my tone of voice. Oops. But
Say, make it high EQ and convey, how honored we are that they placed their trust in us.
so we're in the FMG platform. This is our Muse tool, and Muse allows you to write emails, social posts, blog posts. I don't know if I'm missing anything else, all with this tool. And so you can see here as the purpose. So we're sending a follow-up
Great
request.
relationship builder for that, really.
Okay. And then for writing style, which one should we pick here? So we have
You pick.
different writing styles that we have added to help, you kind of, what's nice about this is with the click of a button,
Empathetic partner and genuine warmth would be
yeah,
me.
you can choose one. And then once you choose it, you can actually say, okay, let's go ahead and generate it, see what it comes up with. And if you didn't like it, you can just choose another writing style. You don't have to go and prompt it with different feedback. So let's say you read this and you're like, yeah, it's okay, but I'd like to make it longer, make it shorter, or maybe just choose a different writing style. Just by clicking a different writing style, you will get a new version of that email. How amazing is that?
And I don't know if you saw it because it happens really fast, but it has a compliance oversight tool. So it is already compliant, like proof for compliance, so that you never have to worry about, which is what compliance teams generally worry about in the wild, wild AI world. This takes that out of the
We're
question.
getting some
So
hearts and celebrations over here.
I
Okay.
love
I
that.
just wanted to point that out as we talked about like the first draft and how much easier it is to have a first draft that is written for you that you can then make your own. Okay. So we skipped a little bit ahead. So
Who
these
else loves Samantha's little avocado cursor that her son put on her computer and she can't figure out how to get rid of? I love
yeah,
it.
it's an AI tool, I'm pretty sure. Like a
I want an avocado cursor.
yes. Oh my gosh. So these are just some tips we had to personalize that new client welcome series. I mean, obviously getting an email is great, but getting an email that has a video or a photo in it makes it even better.
Much
Um,
better.
and if you do have, again, frequently asked questions, one tip that we just wanted to point out, I think we're kind of skipping ahead, but I'm gonna put it
And
on.
I'll answer some questions in the chat. So is the tool included in the base membership? No, the tool is part of the premium marketing package. So the marketing has three levels. It's essential, premium, and then a do it for me level that we haven't talked a lot about, but we do have a concierge level where we actually do it for you. So the AI features are part of the premium. And it does automatically route to LPL's compliance, any of the large broker dealers, many of the large RIAs, the compliance workflows. We have, I think, I don't know, like 200 compliance teams that are on FMG. And is this all from the website? You're seeing our full dashboard here on the left, where you could access your website, your automated marketing, your email, your social. That's if you have everything. But as I said, you can choose just website and you can choose marketing on its own, or you can have both. And the beauty is the more the more products you have, the more you can manage all your marketing within one place.
Yes. And this is
And
really
does it
designed.
add legal and disclaimers? Yes. When you first set up your profile, you're adding in all of your disclosures, and that profile gets approved by compliance. And then that is always at the bottom of your email in your signature.
Yep, all right there. And that's a good point to say. This platform has been designed to scale. So if you're a one person shop and you're managing everything in house, you can use it as is. But then we also have very, very large enterprises with, thousands of people, and they have people managing, maybe 10 or 15 advisors marketing, and then the high level routing through compliance. So that's all baked in to grow with you and your business as it goes.
Cool.
Awesome.
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's okay. So one of the things that I think is so smart is after somebody meets with you and you're following up with them and you know that there's going to be a bunch of questions you didn't get to or that they think about after you've met with them. What are some things that you can do in that follow-up message after an appointment? So linking to an FAQ page on your website is great for the customer experience, the client experience. But as Susan had mentioned before, in this new world of AI, FAQ pages are a really, really important part of helping the AI tools find you. So if you want ChatGPT to recommend you to more people, you want to structure your website in a way that it gives ChatGPT the information it's looking for, and FAQ tools are, or FAQ pages are a great way to do that. So at FMG, we also have an FAQ widget, which I can show you in a minute, that allows you just easily add those to your website. But linking to your FAQ page in the follow-up email is a great strategy, encouraging them to follow you on social media. And this is also something you can be proactive about, right? So you could say, please follow us, but you could also just copy their name into your LinkedIn and send that connection request proactively.
Yeah, I actually think that should be, we talk about social media best practices, and one of the kind of gaps that we find with advisors is they'll start posting and be like, okay, I'm posting, but wait, nothing's really happening because it's a two-pronged strategy. You've got to post, but you also have to engage and you have to build your network. You have to grow your network. So one easy thing is just every time you add a new client, make sure you're sending out a connection request to both all members of the household if they're adults, not just the head of the household.
100%, 100%. Oh, I did have an example. So here's an example of what those FAQ pages would look like, right? And so what services does Heirloom Wealth offer? And then it lists them out individually, and it goes through all those different types of keywords. Does Heirloom Wealth approach intergenerational wealth transfer? Does it work with my CPA and estate attorney? So all the types of things that are going to be FAQs that clients are going to want to know the answer to, but also those LLMs are looking for when if somebody says, I'm looking for a financial advisor who can also help me with estate planning and play point with my CPA, this is going to help them find you.
And when you ask them, what they searched for, because you're going to ask them how they found you. And if they found you on search, you're going to ask that question. Add that to your FAQs because that's, the more you know about what people are literally typing in, if you match that exactly, you increase your odds of being found.
100%. Now, whether you use FMG or not, I absolutely love this tip, which is in a world of everything being digital, we know that getting a piece of mail that is a handwritten card or looks like a handwritten card and it's unique and it makes you feel like, oh, I'm opening something that's not a bill or an ad. That feels so good and it's such a great touch. So making part of your client onboarding to send them a physical card in the mail, something that is tangible. I've heard of people doing other fun things. So someone had mentioned about the mouse pad with the schedules of the college. If there's some sort of fun little thing you can add in there, you can obviously do that. But through FMG, if you're using FMG, we help you automate this as well. So it's one less thing that you have to manually do. And Susan, they just come in and you can choose one card once, right? And then it will automate for all the client onboarding.
No, I think it's done one off. So
Oh,
you
okay.
would, if you want to send a greeting card, you go in and I think they're $2.75 mailed, and we use a handwriting font, which I admit is not as good as a pen, but it looks really close. And it's handwritten, it's a handwriting font on the envelope and a real stamp. So it's not just an indicia. And I always say to people, you know what, if you're going to sit down and write a real, like, handwritten note, not just sign your name, go for it. That's even better. But if
Yeah.
you're not, I don't know why, it's just so much easier to type a message than it is to handwrite it, but it's so much better. So many advisors I know, will just they have a card, they have their stationery and they all sign it, but there's no message. And I would much rather get a note from our system or from any vendor that does this
Actually,
with a
yeah.
note, even though I can tell that it was printed. I know that you actually sat down and wrote it. So I think those are really an
Tell us in
easy
the
way to
chat,
up it.
are any of you sending physical cards? And is that part of your client onboarding, or are you just sending them for anniversaries or get well
Birthdays,
soon or birthdays? I'd be curious
you've
to
got to
know.
know, yes, yes, birthdays. Yeah, and we have an e-birthday one that is super popular. People love that too. But I do think in this world of AI and tech that anything tangible that looks like I mean, not looks like, that it actually took a little time is going to go a long way. Another like thing that I heard somebody do that I just remember that I loved was, as you onboard a new client, really everybody in your team, typically, depending on the size of your firm, touches that new client. Obviously, the bigger you are, maybe that's not the case, but there's generally certainly multiple people that are touching every new client during that onboarding process. So one advisor actually holds their team accountable to coming after they onboard a client, they get together in a room and each person has to come with a recommendation of what gift they should give that reflects the personal interests of that, that would be really meaningful to that client. And then they collectively decide on what gift to give them. And it typically, I think it's always a coffee table book. So each person is coming with their idea of what kind of coffee table book it would be. I just
I
thought that
love
was just
that.
a great idea to get everybody thinking about trying to listen for those clues and making everybody part of that.
Well, some of the AI note takers too, now that everyone's using AI note takers, you can go in and you can, at least with some of the ones I've seen, you can ask the AI to summarize data in different points. So saying like, did they mention their favorite sports team? Or, even if you took the transcript and, asked AI, hey, based on this transcript, what would be a great gift for this client?
Oh, you
Like,
know what else, which I haven't done as recently and actually just reminded me to do it. But, I meet with, I have one-on-ones with my team, and as you have meetings with your clients, ask them, is there anything in the next couple weeks or months that you're looking forward to? Like not this week, but like in the next couple months. So it could be a trip, it could be a concert, it could be something. And they'll be like, oh yeah, we're going to this concert, whatever. Then right away, or at least more when you get off the call, put it in your calendar to just send them an email and say, how was that event? So it's like, 6 weeks from now, you're emailing and saying, how was the concert on Saturday night?
so
You
good.
will blow their mind and it takes no time.
Yeah. It's funny, my doctor does this.
Ah,
Whenever I go to the
really?
doctor, she always will
That's a
say,
little
the last
weird.
time, the last time you were here, you told me you were going to London. How was it? Like, I'm like, oh my God, she wrote that down. But like, I'm talking about it on this webinar. I'm so
Yeah.
impressed. I can't believe it.
Those are
Um,
the little moments that go a long way.
Yes, 100%. Somebody had asked about, will that new client survey asking for their favorite coffee, sports teams, et cetera, is that something that is in the library? So I don't know, and I
I
have to
don't
look.
think so.
The checklist we're giving you does have a client survey with an example. So the thing you're going to get after today, and Susan, that just made me think we should add that to the
We
library.
should add that.
So thank you for the idea. Okay, so keeping the conversation going to turn these folks into, raving fans as time goes on. We have a couple different ideas here. One of the things I think that has become such a huge talking point in the last couple months with AI, because we know that reviews and testimonials are a huge part of that social proof that Google Gemini and Google AI overviews and ChatGPT use. When do you think, Susan, what's your opinion on the best time to ask for a review if you're trying to systematize it?
Gosh, that's on the spot, Sam. I'm not I'm not sure.
Well, we can see what everybody else thinks, but because
Let's
we have,
ask. I haven't you know what? We actually met with a firm called Testimonial IQ recently. I bet they have data on when you get the best response.
and
Honestly, I'd say I don't know.
Andrew from Testimonial IQ, the co-founder, he actually and I had a one-on-one just the other day, and he mentioned a lot of people creating a system where they ask for it after the annual review. So they actually are waiting till the client's a client a full year, obviously not like right away. And they're asking for it at the 1 year mark at that annual meeting. So obviously you can have more than a meeting once a year, but most people have like a big meeting at least that happens at least once or twice a year. And they're having the meeting and then post meeting asking for the review or the testimonial. So that seems to be popular, but I don't see a single recommendation. Yeah,
Is
so
anybody
maybe
on this webinar using are requesting reviews or testimonials?
yeah,
And
we
if
would
so,
love.
are you using any platform to help collect that compliantly?
Okay, so Carla said she waits till after a year. Alicia said yes. Alicia, what are you using to ask? Carla said Google reviews. Let's see. We've requested Google reviews, but haven't received any yet. Chelsea, we do it at their yearly
Printed
review.
QR, onboarding or 6 months. Yeah, I think, we are going to stay tuned because I think one of our next webinars is going to be talking about ways to do reviews and testimonials in a way that is comfortable for most advisors because I'd say the vast majority are not using them.
Yeah, and one thing that is really important that Susan and I have been spending a lot of time researching that may change your mind about this if you're kind of anti-testimonial review is that user intent with all kind of search is becoming so, so important. And when most people go to Google or ChatGPT and they say, help me find an advisor or tell me the best financial advisor in this location, Google or ChatGPT says, oh, advisor. They mean a person. They don't mean a firm. And so making sure that you have reviews by the person are really, really important as well, to be one of the ones that's recommended. All right. So lots of good feedback, but yes, we have a lot to come, more to come to help you with testimonials, which is part of the client experience and onboarding. Another thing that we wanted to mention is turning on marketing automations so that these clients are getting consistent communications from you. And we want to make it as easy as possible for you to do that. So let me just show you in our website here. You'll see in our FMG dashboard, if you are not just using our website, but you have our marketing tools, right here under automated marketing, you can come over here and you will see that there are a bunch of different, again, pre-made automated campaigns that you can turn on. We do not go and turn them all on. I'm not suggesting that. We don't want you to do that. But you can go through, and I'm right now logged in as though I was an advisor with LPL. So depending on who you're associated with, you might have specific ones for your broker dealer or your OSJ, whoever you're affiliated with. And then we also have ones based upon life stages of clients. So I'm only seeing certain ones here in my demo based upon my demo.
What LPL is approved.
Yes, and what LPL is approved. So like this one for folks who are specifically within ages 55 to 65 and are tagged that way in your CRM, they would get this life stages email, which is specific information just for them. And there's also ones that are specific to asking for referrals and follow up. It could be a monthly market update. So this is just a great way if you feel overwhelmed by your to-do list with marketing, you can turn these automations on and you know that at a minimum, let's say every month, your advisor or your clients are going to get an email newsletter from you summarizing what's been happening in the markets, the economy, and your take on what's going on. Okay. We are trying to keep these to 45 minutes. So I'm going to skip ahead to this, which is, no, sorry. This is more for.
We have so much to say, just not enough time. But
yeah. So we just want to mention if you're looking at all this and this does feel overwhelming to you and you would love to work with FMG, or maybe you already are, but you know that you just need more help, we came up with this program called Do It For Me Marketing for people just like you, which is I love FMG's tools, or these tools look amazing, but we don't have the bandwidth to implement this. Even though we do have so much automations, you would just love someone to really execute for you. That's what our Do It For Me marketing program is. So if you're interested in that, you're actually paired with someone from our team who every single month will do a call with you. When we onboard you, we help you set up things like the new client onboarding, what do we call it? The
campaign.
New client series. And we make sure that, every month your clients are getting specific types of content. Your social posts are going out. We help you hand pick the content that's going to be right for you. What else am I missing about this program, Susan?
That's pretty much it. It's really, what we find that I think the biggest gap in advisor success with marketing is consistency and just having the time to continue to do the things that we know move the needle. And honestly, it is having a content strategy that you're just executing consistently across social, across email, across events, in your website. And so what this attempts to do is that we're creating 2 blogs, 6 emails, 20 social posts, a video script, a podcast script, a webinar script, a marketing tip for an event. And all of it is teed up to be edited and customized based on, your voice. And then you get to say, great, it's done, send it out. And it just holds you accountable to, checking in with somebody every month to say, yes, send that content out. But you don't have to write it. You don't have to come up with a strategy. We're doing that. And people see amazing results, and it saves just a ton of time.
100%. So there's a QR code if you want to book a time after hearing all the different tools and resources that we have, or you just want us to take a look, at what you're doing currently and what gaps and holes you have and how we can help. Someone asked, how much is the Do It For Me program, Susan?
The Do It For Me program is $8.95 a month.
Awesome. And then someone else said, with premium, do we get a marketing content calendar? So I'm just going to go back here.
Yep,
Um, this is the 10-minute marketing calendar. So every month, so you can see this one's for November. And it shows you different pieces we would suggest that you send. This
yep,
again is everything in our entire platform is editable and customizable by you. Down
yep,
to you could take one of these pieces, put it into Muse and say, help me tailor this to my audience of physicians in
yep.
Philadelphia, right? So, but yes, we do give you guidance, no matter whether you're doing even in this situation.
So premium gets the 10-minute marketing calendar, which is a recommendation of content that's in the premium library. You'd have to you look at it and you can choose it and you have to push,
You
go and
execute.
execute that, which is not that hard. And then the Do It For Me, it's a whole different calendar that Sam and I actually come up with the strategy around and do a lot of the writing. And then you have a dedicated person that is actually executing it for you. So
Yes.
all you really do is once a month meet with somebody, and if you have time, read through everything and make some tweaks. And otherwise, it's done for
And I
you.
think what if you ask people the value they get out of this, there's so many different things, but I know for all of you sitting there, a lot of times you want someone to be a sounding board and to say, yeah, that is a good idea, or oh, you're working with a lot of physicians, we have this event toolkit. Maybe you should think about having a webinar and teaching this strategy. So if you really would love to have that person to check in, hold you accountable, and execute for you, that's the route to go. But we've built this technology again. We want it to be your partner in your marketing and in your client communications. And we hope this gave you some really good ideas about where you can go from here. So thank you all. I know that we're a little bit over. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you. And if you found this helpful, let us know because we're always looking for feedback on what topics people want to hear more of.
And make sure that we keep giving you good information and keep stepping up our game. So we
Yes,
look to you for ideas on that.
and look out for the great follow-up we're going to send you with all of
Yes.
these great resources in an email. So thanks, everyone. Thanks, Susan.
Thanks. Bye, Sam. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.